All right, why don't we get started? The hour having arrived, I'm going to call on the Wakefield Board of Appeals meeting in order for Wednesday, December 10th. I'll remind everyone that the meeting's being recorded. It'll be available on the city's um, website within the next couple of days. I'll start by taking attendance. Dave Hatfield,
Here.
Joe Pride,
Here.
Kasumi Humphreys,
Yeah.
Mit Patel,
Here.
and I'm Tom Lucy. Obviously, I am here. Um,
Chip just is logging in now. See him
Kirsten
logging in.
didn't get the link for some reason. I just texted it to her. So hopefully she'll be
Okay.
along momentarily.
all right, and Chip Tarbell, for the record, is here. With that, going to ask the board clerk, Joe Pride, to read tonight's legal notice into the record.
Sure thing, Mr. Chair. Consistent with the governor's order extending certain provisions of the open meeting law, every effort will be made to allow the public to view and or listen to this meeting in real time. If you do not have a camera or microphone on your computer, you may use the follow dialing in number 1-301-715-8592, meeting ID 847-5416, 2409, passcode 974427. Please only use dial-in or computer and not both, as audio feedback will distort the meeting. This meeting will be audio and video recorded in compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. This location is accessible to people with disabilities. Wakefield provides reasonable accommodations and or language assistance free of charge upon request. If you are a person with a disability and require information or materials in an alternate format, or if you require any other accommodations, please contact the town's disability coordinator, William Renault, town engineer, at 781-246-6308 as far in advance of the event as possible. Every effort will be made to grant your requests. Advance notification will enable the town to make reasonable I lost my place. Enable the town to make reasonable arrangements to remove an accessibility barrier for you. One, continued hearings. Two, 26-26, Michael Casoli, trustee of Mac Realty Trust and Casoli Family Trust and Seven Continents Montessori LLC, application for a special permit under Article 4, Section 190-23 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw for a daycare center and modification to a special permit and modification decisions granted by the Board of Appeals and filed with the Wakefield Town Clerk on November 5th, 2013 and March 5th, 2015. The property is shown as map 24, lot parcel 2022A, 23A, 21 of the assessors map, and is located at 957-959 Main Street, 979-983 Main Street, and 6 Greenwood Street. Board of Appeals.
Thank you, Joe. Before we get to the agenda, we've had a number of folks. Oops. A number of folks asked for a continuance, as is our practice. I'll read those into the record first. So if there's individuals here for those matters, they'll know that they'll be continued to a future meeting. First up is 35 Stark Ave, case number 2511. I have a letter from attorney Brian McGrail dated today. Dear Mr. Chair, please continue this matter until your second meeting in January. As you know, I had hoped to have this resolved with the building inspector for tonight's meeting, but we were unable to connect. I hope to request to withdraw this application without prejudice at the next hearing date. We also agreed to extend the time for the board to render and or file any decisions regarding this matter until and including February 28th, 2026. So looking for a continuance to our second meeting in January, and acknowledging the applicant's willingness to extend the time for the board to render or file any decisions until February 28th.
So just to clarify, Mr. Chair, through you and Amy, it's January 21st. What's that second meeting?
January 28th. So the first meeting is January 14th, and the second meeting is January 28th.
I thought,
We may have done it when
I
you
thought
weren't
we-
at a meeting, Dave. There's different dates. Calendar went out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's the 14th and the 28th is what I have too.
okay. I thought I had in the back of my head our dates were changing to like first and third instead of second and fourth, but I may have just got my wires crossed there. Sorry. So it's the
No
28th
problem.
as
Yep.
of now. Okay. So, Mr. Chair, I move that we continue the matter at 35 Stark Ave to our meeting on January 28th, 2025, and accept the applicant's request to extend the time for the board to render a decision or final disposition of this matter to February 28th, 2026.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further comment or questions? Hearing seeing none, regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. That's unanimous. Matters continued. Next up, I have a letter from Attorney Brian McGrail dated today regarding case numbers 26-1, 26-2, 26-3, 50 Corner Pollard Parkway. Dear Mr. Chair, continue this matter until your first meeting in January. We're still in the process of revising the plans based on the newly determined wetland line.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move that we continue the matter at 50 Corner Pollard Parkway to our meeting on January 14th, 2026.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing seeing none. Regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Matters continued. Next continuance request is in a letter dated today from Attorney Brian McGrail regarding case numbers 26-21, 26-22, 525 Salem Street. Dear Mr. Chair, please continue this matter until your first meeting in January. We met with the Traffic Advisory Committee last Friday and await their report. We are meeting with the fire chief today, and the DPW Engineering Department review is still in progress. So looking for a continuance to the first meeting in January.
Mr. Chair, I move that we continue the matter at 525 Salem Street to our meeting on January 14th, 2026.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing seeing none. Regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Next is a request on case 26-23 from Christina Micarino, 10 Indian Hill Road, looking to withdraw their application without prejudice.
Okay, so Mr. Chair, we hadn't opened this. This was
This was not opened. It was resolved with the building inspector.
okay, understood. Thank you. Again, just want to be clear on what may have discussed it last time.
We didn't open it, but I still think, given, the request, I think we should dispose of the matter.
Sure. Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the applicant's request to withdraw without prejudice the case at 10 Indian Hill Road.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing seeing none. Regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi.
Yes.
I vote yes. Matter is withdrawn without prejudice. All right, back to the regular agenda. First up is cases 25-21 cases and 25-22 for the applicant at 154 Salem Street, 158 Salem Street. I see Attorney McGrail on the line.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, Attorney Brian McGrail here on behalf of the applicants. With me tonight is Nick Leo and Rocco Leo from the Leo Group, and also Rich Williams, who was our site civil engineer from Williams and Sparagus Engineers. I'm happy to report that the planning board last night voted to approve the definitive subdivision. So they are now closed out on this project. As you're aware, I submitted to your board last week some revised conditions, which I'd like to go over with you. An operation and maintenance plan and what we deem to be the final site plan and final landscaping plans. In our final site plan and landscaping plans, we've addressed some requests of our abutters on Nablus Way, and they're here tonight as well. And I believe that they're satisfied. So our goal, obviously, it's the prerogative of your board to decide, but our goal would be to close this matter out tonight and hopefully have a vote taken if you determine it to be appropriate to do so after you hear the materials. So I had already presented some conditions at your last meeting that we took this matter up. And you had asked some revisions, so if I could share my screen to go over what I
Yeah,
did with this.
please do.
Thank you. So a lot of these were just edits that Mr. Hatfield had requested. We just cleaned up. So I'm just going to go through. I redlined it to make it easy because I'm not going to go through them all again. Number 3, we wanted to just clarify final site plan and the final architectural drawings and the final landscape plan. Dave, I did the same thing in 4. You would wanted the landscape plan included in those. And then on 7, if there's any conflicts with the decision, then the final site architectural landscape, then it would be the plans and the drawings would control. But those were the only edits that the board had requested. The other thing that we did is, when appropriate, I will share the screen with the final site plan because I do want to show you that there were some conditions that the town engineer wanted. Now it's the practice of this board to put those conditions on the site plan, which we've accomplished. But if I may, Mr. Chair, I'd like to, it's okay with you, take comment on this first before I take it down from the screen.
So I see Dave, you got your hand up?
Yep, just Brian, one additional thing I noticed in number 16. I think that's the last condition.
Yep.
So in the second line, it says the applicant shall offer and accept a 5,000 contribution to town of Wakefield to be used towards.
Yep.
So only need one of those.
You don't want to be used towards twice. Yeah.
Other than that, thanks for the updates. They look good to me, Mr. Chair.
Okay, good catch there. Thank you. Any other questions or comments on the conditions, board members?
I think they're fine.
Okay, if people are comfortable with them, we'll move on to the site plan.
Okay, site plan. So what we did is we reconciled the conditions and a lot of the town engineer related to DPW, the as-built, et cetera, environmental monitor, I&I fee, as-built plan requests. The board likes those, put right on the plans. So any contractor who's taken this job can't say when they looked at the plan set that they didn't know about the requirements. So those have been taken pursuant to the request of the town engineer off of their letter and put right on the plan.
Those are kind of standard at this point, Brian.
They're pretty standard. Yep. But I just want to let you know that that's been done.
Yeah.
Are those the only changes since the last time we've seen this site plan?
No. And then
okay.
I submitted, so this was sent in Friday. There was one other change that we made, and I sent it to the chair today. And might as well go over it now. The only relief that we're looking for on this project, dimensional, is on the front setback. Where in the industrial district, it's got to be 15 feet, and under the attached dwelling, it needs to be 30. We're 18.7 up near the cul-de-sac, so we're looking for relief on that. And then a side yard setback of 10.2. And on the plan that was sent Friday, as you know, the rear of these buildings that face the wetlands, the topography drops off. They have the walkout basement. So Rich Williams had not calculated the height in that area. So it's actually 45 feet On the plan that was sent in Friday, it stated 35. This is a 45-foot max. And so we wanted to correct that on the plan. So those are the only changes, Mr. Hatfield, that have been accomplished. So
Okay,
the
and
only
the
forms
date
of
of,
relief that are being sought on here are, those three.
okay.
And that was it.
And the final date of these is 12.
12/5.
Okay, you had said something was sent today to.
Yeah,
the
we just
chair.
kept the date 12/5. That was the only change. So we didn't change the date to mess things up.
Okay,
But we have the corrected calculation though for the follow, Dave, so we're all set.
okay, thank you.
And then we also submitted an operation and maintenance plan as requested by the board. I also went over that with Attorney Gini, who represents the folks on Nabbles Way, and he had some input on that. I appreciate it. He had some very good input that I incorporated in as far as the snow removal goes to protect his client's property. And I think what he suggested was well drafted, and we incorporated that in, and I think he's happy with that. And I'm happy to go through that. I don't know if you've had a chance to review it, but it's up to you if you want me to bring it up or if you're satisfied with it, Mr. Chair and board members.
I'll ask the board. I'm satisfied. I don't know if board members had questions or comments or want to see more.
I looked at it as fine.
Same here. I was looking, again, other than the usual, like the maintenance of the systems and inspections and all of that. I was looking for if the landscaping starts to die, that's going to be replaced, right? And it was like one line at the end. So I had to look a couple times for it. Chip, I'm sure you noticed it too, but I was looking for that because that's something that can happen, right? Species die, they
Yeah.
don't survive, and you want to make sure that part of the operation and maintenance is they do get replaced. So, and the irrigation's already covered on the landscape plan, right? So I think that pretty much covered. And the snow storage and handling of overflow snow was also a key thing that we always want to see. So, other than that, it looked good to me.
Okay,
Good.
other board members? We good?
Yep.
And the only other thing I submitted was a revised landscape plan. It has a revision date of November 24th, and the only change on that was that Attorney Gini, on behalf of his client, have requested that we beef up some of the landscaping between Unit 8 and their industrial use property, which we did. We put some more plantings in there, and they were satisfied with that.
I
So
never
that
have,
was,
I never have a problem with more and bigger plants.
I didn't think so. So,
No, I got it in my notes from the last meeting, so I'm glad it's added.
The only thing I'm a little concerned about, Brian, is that when they're actually planting, remember to give them some space, because on the plan, it doesn't look like there's a lot of space. So they can get crowded out pretty quickly.
got it. I mean, Bill Fleming he's a great landscape architect, and he's going to oversee the project as it gets planted.
Yeah.
All right. So the final date of the landscape is, I'm looking, November 24th.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And the architecturals we had already finalized, so those go back to October, right? We
October
hadn't touched those.
29th,
Yep.
cover sheet date, correct.
Yep. We hadn't touched those since in the previous meeting. Okay.
That's all we have for you, Mr. Chair. Happy to answer any-
I had from our last meeting, I had a list and you checked off all the boxes on that list, so I'm satisfied. And it appears the other board members are satisfied as well. So if there's no other questions or comments, I'm going to open it up for public comment. So board members, anything else before we go to public comment? Okay, hearing, seeing none. Is there any member of the public that's here that would like to testify or offer comment or ask a question about this application? If so, please use the raised hand function in Zoom. Small crowd tonight. I am not seeing anybody trying to weigh in here. Okay, we got one, Scott Hanley. If you can give your name and address.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I always have to chime in. Scott Hanley, 5 Toby Lane. I guess a question and a couple comments. The question would be that do some of the town boards that are reviewing these projects concurrently, Do they ever discuss the projects with each other? For example, the ZBA and conservation or conservation and planning? And, if so, do any of the concerns from one board come into play with the other? Or are they just, separate entities like ships passing in the night? Do you have,
No, it would be inappropriate for us to discuss them unless we were in a properly publicly advertised meeting. We do get correspondence from the other boards that we incorporate into our conditions on a regular basis. So that's why usually the last stop is the ZBA. Because then we have the input from, as Mr. McGrail said, we know the planning board approved it and that we've received comment from them. And sometimes they have no comment. We receive comments from the Conservation Commission on a regular basis too. We also receive comments from town department heads, the fire chief, the town engineers. This isn't done in isolation. It's a very coordinated activity. So when someone files an application, it's distributed to all those department heads and all the appropriate people at town hall as well, who can offer comment at that time too. So it isn't, like I said, it's a well-coordinated approach.
well, I guess I would, as a comment, I'd say that although we haven't seen a final vote yet, it would appear that, the town boards, are moving forward and looking to approve this project and may be okay with the density of this project. But I think it's pretty evident that some of the abutters and neighbors would disagree with that. I think at times we miss the big picture of what's happening in town, as a whole, because we may be focused on individual projects and don't look at, long-term, long-range impacts of decisions, that may be made today. And I like to equate it, and I use someone else's quote of, I call it a death by 1,000 cuts, and to possibly just illustrate that, thought, I look at this neighborhood and I think within less than a quarter of a mile radius of this project, you can find single family homes, 2-family homes, multiple unit condominium buildings, retail, commercial properties, and even an industrial manufacturing facility right next door. And now 13 more units of a mixed residential variety will be developed on this lot. I think the density is too much. And to me, that doesn't lend itself to be a homogeneous neighborhood. It sounds like a hodgepodge of housing jammed into every available building lot. And I would just finally, I guess, ask the board to, reconsider the density of this project and think it's too big for this neighborhood. My opinions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
No, I appreciate your opinion, and I will note that there's been significant reduction in the number of units as part of the process that we've gone through here. So we did hear the neighbors, we did listen. The applicant did adjust the size of his proposal pretty significantly. So I think we have done some good work in that area for the board, and that's just my opinion, but I do appreciate your participation, Mr. Hammond. And it's good to hear from abutters. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, going once, going twice. Closing public comment. Back to the board. Pleasure of the board.
So, Mr. Chair, again, just in my opinion, and this is, I'm going to propose a motion momentarily, is, what we have to adjudicate is whether these proposals, satisfy the conditions of a special permit. And that's what's been requested here. And through the deliberations and the input we've received, I'm of the opinion that they've met the requirements, and therefore I'm going to start making a motion to that end. And that's what we have to adjudicate here. And so, and I think we've done that. So I'm going to start a couple motions to be made here. I'm going to note that final site plan, final landscape plan, and final architectural plans, as we just saw and heard from, the final site plan is by Williams and Sparagus, dated December 5th, 2025, the final landscape plan by William Fleming dated November 24th, 2025, and the final architectural plan by Calsa Design Inc., cover sheet dated October 29th, 2025, and plan sheets dated October 21st, 2025. So they'll be referenced in here, as well as the conditions that we just reviewed and finalized. So with that, I move that we grant a special permit and site plan approval pursuant to Section 190-32 and 190-45 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw, allowing an 8-unit attached dwelling complex on Lot 3 of the final site plan, as shown on the final site plan, final landscape plan, and final architectural drawings. I do so by making these findings on behalf of the board, that the use requested is listed in the table of use regulations as requiring a special permit in the district for which the application is made. B, the board finds that the requested use is essential and/or desirable to the public convenience or welfare. Wakefield and the surrounding region continue to experience a significant need for diverse housing options, including affordable units that accommodate a range of household types and income levels. An attached dwelling complex directly responds to this need by offering a housing form that is not widely available within the town. Expanding local housing opportunities supports broader municipal goals related to economic diversity, sustainability, and community vitality. C, based on the review and recommendations of the Traffic Advisory Committee, this board finds that the proposed use will not create or contribute undue traffic congestion, nor will it impair pedestrian safety. The project's anticipated trip generation, access, design, and parking comply with the requirements of the Wakefield zoning bylaw and are consistent with safety standards. Any potential impacts that have been evaluated and found to be manageable or insignificant. D, the board finds that the proposed use will not overload any public water, sewer, stormwater, or other municipal systems. The Department of Public Works has reviewed the project and determined that existing municipal infrastructure has adequate capacity to support the development without creating conditions hazardous to public health, safety, or general welfare. E, the requested use will not impair the integrity or character of the zoning district or adjoining districts. The proposed attached dwelling complex is consistent in scale, appearance, and intensity with the types of uses envisioned for this district. Its design and operation will not be detrimental to public health, convenience, or welfare. Instead, the development is expected to integrate compatibility with its surroundings and reinforce the neighborhood's residential character. F, the requested use will not, by its addition to the neighborhood, cause an excess of that particular use that would be detrimental to the character of said neighborhood. As mentioned, an attached dwelling complex provides a new and unique housing opportunity in the area of town and will add to the affordable housing inventory. And G, the proposed use will not be detrimental to the neighborhood or adversely affect the underlying zoning district. The surrounding non-residential uses permitted within the district are compatible with residential development and are not noxious or disruptive. Introducing residential units into this area is consistent with the town zoning framework and is expected to complement existing uses rather than conflict with them. And H, in conjunction with the anticipated special permit under 190-32(1) of the Wakefield zoning bylaw, the board has determined the proposed attached dwelling complex complies with all applicable requirements of the zoning bylaw, including those related to parking, loading, access, landscaping, buffers, and requirements set forth in 190-32 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw. In accordance with 190-45, the Wakefield zoning bylaw site plan, we make these findings in accordance with that section. The board has reviewed this section, and its pertinent section states, in reviewing a site plan, the special permit granting authority and other applicable agencies shall consider, among other things, the following: convenience and safety of vehicular and pedestrian movement within the site and in relation to adjacent streets, properties, or improvements; adequacy of the methods of disposal of sewage, refuse, and other waste, and the methods for surface and stormwater management and drainage; provision for off-street loading and unloading of vehicles incidental to the servicing of the buildings and related uses on the lot or track. The board has considered all of the above referenced criteria and is satisfied it has met the conditions for the special permit and site plan approval, and is subject to the conditions that we have already reviewed this evening. That is the motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion from the board? Hearing, seeing none, regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi.
yes,
I vote yes as well. Matt is unanimous.
Mr. Chair, I move that we grant a special permit pursuant to section 190-32-1 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw, allowing the reductions and or alterations to dimensional requirements under section 190-32D and table 2 of the bylaw related to an 8-unit attached dwelling complex on lot 3 of the final site plan as shown on the final site plan, final landscape plan, and final architectural drawings, including the following. A, allowing a reduction in the required front yard and side yard setbacks to be that is shown on the final site plan to allow the attached dwelling complex to be constructed as shown on the final site plan, final landscape plan, and final architectural drawings. B, allowing an increase in the required building height to be that as shown on the final site plan and the final architectural drawings to allow the attached dwelling complex to be constructed as shown on the final site plan, final landscape plan, and final architectural drawings. And C, any other reductions and or alterations from the requirements of section 190-32D and table 2 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw to allow the attached dwelling complex to be constructed as shown on the final site plan, final landscape plan, and final architectural drawings. I make this with the same findings as the last special permit motion, and furthermore, these reductions and or alterations will enhance the project as a whole and allow it to benefit the neighborhood in which it is situated. This too also contains the same conditions we had previously reviewed this evening. And that is the motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing, seeing none, same voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi.
yes,
I vote yes as well. That too is unanimous.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate the your willingness to work with us. I know it was looking back over all the notes, started last November, made some significant changes to the size and the architecture and everything else. So appreciate the cooperation working with the board.
Thank you. Thank you for your time and
Thank
effort.
you all.
Good luck.
Yep. Good
Yep.
luck.
Okay, moving on. I made a mistake at the beginning of the meeting. I forgot to read one more thing in. We got a piece of correspondence from regarding case 26-24, Bank of America, 2 Smith Street, requesting to withdraw without prejudice. We're looking for a vote on that.
And what happened at the last meeting, Mr. Chair? Was that opened or
They filed for the wrong relief.
Oh, that's the one. I saw that in the minutes. Okay, so it didn't actually get opened. Okay. Because I
Yeah,
don't
we
think I was-
opened it, but now they're asking to withdraw. We pointed out that they filed for the wrong relief.
Okay.
I've been in correspondence with Mr. Fitz since that meeting, and and then subsequently sent in correspondence asking to withdraw without prejudice.
Okay. Well, I wasn't here for that, even though, I mean, are you comfortable making the motion, or should someone else make that motion to accept their request? Just because I wasn't here for that part of the meeting. That's all.
I'm comfortable with you making the motion.
Okay. So, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we accept the applicant's request to withdraw their application at 2 Smith Street without prejudice.
Second it.
Okay, regular voting members, unless there's any discussion on that. Hearing, seeing none. Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi.
yes,
I vote yes as well. Okay, appreciate that. On to new hearings, case 26-26. Michael Casoli, trustee of Mac Realty Trust and Casoli Family Trust and 7 Continents Montessori, 957 through 983 Main Street and 6 Greenwood Street.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. For the record, Attorney Brian McGrail here on behalf of the applicants, Mr. Casoli in his capacity as trustee, as you stated, and also 7 Continents Montessori LLC. With me tonight is Rocio Lobato. She is the owner of 7 Continents. This is an application for a daycare center at the Greenwood Plaza. It's known to the board. You might be familiar with Ms. Lobato. We were here not too long ago where she already opened a daycare facility in this plaza. This application deals with not just the special permit for the daycare use, but it's also modifications of existing special permits that relate to the project. And some of the board members that have been on for a while are familiar with this project. It has a long history. And when it was developed, it had a restriction on certain uses in conjunction with each other. So every time there's a change of use that wasn't contemplated originally, it requires, in essence, a modification of those prior decisions. And that's why there's modifications here. The last time Seven Continents was approved, it was approved in conjunction with modifications to those. So it's almost a redo for another location. If I could share my screen, Mr. Chair, I'd like to kind of show you what we're talking about as far as a location.
Please do.
Before I do that, I submitted a floor plan as I did the last time that a daycare was permitted here to show where it will be located. But probably from a realistic perspective, it's better just to do it like this. So you're all familiar with Greenwood Plaza. Currently, Seven Continents is right in this corner next to Lapels. They have been very successful there. They have a loyal clientele, and what they're trying to do is they want to expand, and their expansion is actually on the other side of the plaza. Mr. Casoli had a vacancy where Halligan Chiropractic is, and they want to locate there. And the reason she wants two facilities is the new one will be focused on babies, more children that are going to be under 3 years old. And she's had a demand for that. She actually has families with a mix of children and or a clientele that are expecting new children. So what she has found in her profession is when you have the real, the babies, if you will, they need places to be quiet, places where they can sleep. So she wants to be able to separate them as far as age groups go. And that's, so instead of expanding into a bigger place, it really works well for her to have two locations, obviously in the same plaza, where they can go back and forth. And that's why they're locating, want to locate where Halligan goes. As you know, and we talked about this, our bylaw has a special permit requirement, but under 40A, Section 3, the Dover Amendment, in essence, with all due respect, it's something that, can't be denied, if you will. And I think you know that. But we always apply for the special permit because our bylaw has it. Our new bylaw that will be going into effect after AG approval, Mr. Babowski has taken that out, so it would only require a site plan approval. So, so what we're looking for here is a special permit with the site plan approval component, and also to modify those permits to allow the daycare to go in this location. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, board members, questions, comments?
I mean, I guess the only comment I would have is if we're doing up to 3 and the one across here and the other one in this 4, where we're dealing with this, as Brian pointed out, you're dealing with the same families. I mean, I have no problem, but I think we need daycares, we need childcare. But I'm a little concerned about the entrances being at each side of the plaza, with families walking kids through the plaza to get from one side to the other with their mixed ages. That would be my only concern. With kids kids can get loose, kids can get whatever. And we're talking about a pretty busy plaza here, especially during drop off and pickup times. I'd be curious operationally how they think they're going to handle this.
Well, the drop off times, Chips, the pickup time is probably a little bit more, more of an issue. The drop off time, really nothing else in the plaza is open.
Right.
So, the pickup time, I think is where, but the pickup time, really, the restaurants haven't gotten going yet. There will be some overlap. I'm not saying, not every family is going to have a kid in each. That's something that might happen, likely will for a period of time until ages coincide.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of people that just have a young child that or a baby that goes into the Halligan location and eventually will transfer over to the other location.
So you really haven't heard from them how they're operationally going to handle this.
I mean, they park like they would in a parking space, and they take their kid in. I don't know how else, that's really the only option. They haven't had any issue in the other location.
No, because you're going into one door.
The applicant's here, maybe they can offer their thoughts.
What?
Yes,
applicant here?
hi, yes, yes.
Roger, can you
So,
identify yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
hi,
For the
I don't know
record,
if you guys can, I don't know if you guys can hear me or see me.
We can.
So what I was thinking is like most of the other location is gonna be babies. So what I assume, or I can put it in my handbook, is like to drop off our kids, the ones that are walking, and then drive to the other location to drop off the baby, so they don't have to walk across with the other child.
As long as you've thought about it, how you're going to handle it.
yeah, Brian, if we could just get your name and some
Yes.
address for the public record.
Roger, can
my-
you identify yourself and your address?
Yeah, hi, my name is Rocio Acevedo Lobato, and I'm the owner of Seven Continents Montessori, and the location is in 963 Greenwood Avenue. That's the old location that we opened a year ago.
Great, thank you.
Oh, and Mr. Chair, through you, where does the
Yeah,
applicant live?
please.
Where does the applicant live? We know where her business is.
Roger, what's your home address for the record? You can unmute.
Okay, sorry. I live in 49 Whitman Avenue in Melrose, 02176. So I'm
we know
not
where
in,
we know where Melrose is. Thank you.
yeah.
So, Mr. Chair, I'd also raised my hand. Chip, are you all set?
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
So the application did include a rather rough sketch of the interior that I know in the other one we did discuss entries, exits, where's the staff area, where's the bathroom, et cetera, et cetera. This one pretty rough. So I assume it's going to have all of that. I see some sort of doorway markups. I don't know, Kasumi.
Yeah, there's no final build out plan on this, Dave. It's the area that she's taking, and it's going to be built out, and it has to
But
be.
it will have, okay.
Yeah, it's got to be
It all
inspected
has
by
to
the
meet
state.
very, very strict state standards.
Right. Okay. So what we got is just an idea of what the interior layout looks like, but it's going to be
Just the
built out and
location.
meet all the requirements it has to.
Yeah, the state has to give a license on this and inspect.
Okay. Like I said, the other one, we got a little more detail, even in the application. So we had
They
something.
were further along.
Yeah. Okay.
So Dave, just on that note, I should read into the record then to help here. Do have some correspondence from town departments. First one's from Acting Chief Tom Purcell. Letter dated November 26th, stating they've reviewed the application. Provided the applicant sends the fire department the proper permitting application and a set of plans subject to the review process prior to any modification of the space. After reviewing the application, the department has no objection to this project. Other correspondence from Department of Public Works, Engineering Department. They have no applicable comments at this time. So they're going to have to talk to the fire department and departments anyway on the build out.
Makes sense. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Other than that, I'm okay.
They'll have to be signed off by health department, all the appropriate departments.
Okay, anybody else?
No.
Okay, at this point then, I'm going to open it up to public comment. Is there any member of the public that's here that would like to comment on this application? If so, please use the raised hand function in Zoom. Seeing none, going once, going twice. Closing public comment. Back to the board. Pleasure of the board.
So, Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to grant a special permit pursuant to Article 4, Section 190-23 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw, allowing the daycare center as requested. All right, so we got to do separate motions, right, Brian? For
I
the
think you can do
original,
it all in one, Dave.
you think you can?
Yep, I do. Yep, it's one application.
Okay, because we're granting a special permit and then modifying the existing
It'll
one.
be
Okay.
one, it'll be one decision like it was last time.
Okay, all right, thanks for clarifying. All right. So I will continue. So special permit pursuant to 190-23, allowing the daycare as requested, as well as a modification of the special permit and site plan approval granted by the board and a decision filed with the town clerk on November 5th, 2013, and recorded at Middlesex South Registry of Deeds at book 63021, page 58, to the extent necessary to allow the proposed daycare center, as well as a modification of modified decisions granted by the board in decisions filed with the town clerk on November 5th, 2013 and March 5th, 2015, and recorded at Middlesex South Registry of Deeds at book 6301, page 61, and book 65291, page 220, related to the modification of prior decisions of the board as stated therein to the extent necessary allowed for the proposed daycare center. And make this motion and move that we grant this relief based on the board's findings. Number one, the requested use is listed in the table of use regulations as requiring a special permit in the district for which the application is made. Number two, the requested use is essential and/or desirable to the public convenience or welfare. Number three, the requested use will not create or add undue traffic congestion or unduly impair pedestrian safety. Number four, the requested use will not overload any public water, sewer, drainage, or sewer system or any other municipal system for such an extent that the requested use or any developed use in the immediate area or in any other area of the town will be unduly subjected to hazards affecting health, safety, or general welfare. Five, the requested use will not impair the integrity or character of the district or adjoining districts, nor will be detrimental to the public health, convenience, or welfare. And six, the requested use will not, by its addition to the neighborhood, cause an excess of that particular use that could be detrimental to the character of said neighborhood. And I make this motion based on the following conditions from this board. All conditions stated in the special permit decision and modification decisions previously referenced are hereby restated as conditions of this decision and shall remain in full force and effect. The daycare center use on the property shall be the approximate location as depicted on the floor plan that was in our application. Signage has not been approved by the board, and the board retains jurisdiction to approve any signage prior to installation. The board retains jurisdiction to make any necessary clarifications of this decision which cannot be resolved by the building inspector or zoning enforcement officer. And finally, the board retains jurisdiction to approve any minor amendments to this decision that do not materially affect the terms of the decision. If in the board's judgment a proposed change is material, then a new hearing shall be required to amend this decision. And that is my motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing, seeing none, regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. That is unanimous. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we are moving on to other matters. Case 2450-340-340A, Main Street, G&T Main Street LLC, Architectural Drawings Review. So McGrail, I believe that's your case as
I
well.
do, yeah, we're back on this. It's been a while. For the record, Attorney Brian McGrail representing G&T Main Street LLC. With me is Gus Alfonso, who is has an ownership interest in the entity. Also with me is Jeff Moretti, who is our new architect on this matter, and Salvatore Michelli, who was our proposed contractor for this. To refresh the board's memory, if I can share my screen, Mr. Chair.
Please do.
Thank you. This deals with 340 Main Street, which I'm bringing up on the screen. This is the old Charlie's on Main restaurant that had a two-family dwelling on top, two residential units on top that burnt down in a catastrophic fire a little while ago. We were before your board, and we received approval for the reconstruction of this. We had some rudimentary architectural plans at that time, and the board designated Mr. Tarbell to be the representative of the board to deal with us in finalizing the architectural plans. Since that time, we had to go through an extensive code review with Ben, the building department, because this is in a crowded area where it's going to be built to make sure all code requirements were going to be met, fire, building code, etc. We completed that review, and during that process, we brought on a new architect or an additional architect to help out, Mr. Moretti, who has revised the architectural plans. As Mr. Tarbell was your board's designee, we had a discussion with Chip to meet with him on these new plans, and he said, why don't you just put this on the agenda, bring all of the plans back to the board since it's been a while, and if they're satisfactory, the entire board can tell us they're okay. If they're not and they need to be tweaked, we can get input on doing that, and then we could work out the finalization with Mr. Tarbell. So that's why we're here. So this is the location. Now I'm going to share. We submitted the architectural drawings on Friday in advance of the meeting, and I will share my screen in that regard. And we've had this is the front of the building. What Gus plans on doing is an entire brick building. It's going to be commercial on the first floor, probably a restaurant with two residential units above, brick front, and then proposing to do some stucco on the sides. These are the side and the rear view. There'll be decking in the back for the residential. And Jeff has proposed materials. Chip, when we met, these are the same bricks that we had talked about, that we brought samples. Nothing's changed on that. These are really the floor layout plans, first floor tenant space, and then the two units above. Jeff, do you have anything to add to this before the board takes over?
No.
Jeff, can you identify yourself for the record before you speak?
Hi, Jeff Moretti from Moretti Designs, working with Gus, the owner.
Anything to add, Jeff?
No, I mean primarily the size and scope of the build out has remained the same. The dimensions have not changed. The materials have not changed. It's just a matter of just changing architects because of the original architect. Just he just couldn't. He lost the file, and so I was brought on to do it. But primarily, everything else is remained the same. The materials, the structure, the layout, nothing is changing from the original design or approval.
Jeff, can you talk about the brick? Is it full brick or is it quarter brick?
No, it's full brick. Yeah, it's a full brick facade.
Okay, and where the sign band is, Jeff, is that going to be is it going to be indented into the building, or you've identified that? How's that going to be differentiated?
It's actually going to be protruded out from the brick by like 1.5 inches out from the brick. It'll be a staggered brick protrusion from that. So,
And how about what are you proposing on the sides, Jeff? Are you just proposing straight stucco?
We're proposing, insulated structural panels with the stucco base on the exterior. Yes.
And how about the windows and doors?
Windows are brown fiberglass Pella windows. The same window that was originally proposed. I just included the material sheet for the board to visually see the window.
I mean, having compared these plans with the first plans, I think they're very, very similar. But I did think that it was necessary to kind of come back, even if I was okay with it, where it is a new architect and whatnot, I'd want the whole board to see the plans. But if you look at the old versus the new, they're very, very close. I think the difference being is probably in the buildability of it, if you may, that structurally it's designed a little differently. All the closeness to the next building is taken into consideration. The workability, I think, is better thought out.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chip. Thanks for your work on that. First hand up I saw was Kasumi's.
Thank you. I just want to make sure. I think the original plan had the entry door to the residential area was the 42-inch door. Is it still the same?
Yes, it is still the same.
Okay, so then it looks like you have 42-inch door to the unit entry door is the 42 inches.
To the actual residential units, that's correct. Yes, there'll be
Okay, and then the rest is the 36 inches door.
It will be, well, the door leading into the commercial property will be a 48-inch door because of handicap accessibility.
Okay, and then do you have the mailbox for the residence?
The mailboxes are going to be, I believe, in the interior of the foyer when you walk in. That's where the mailbox are going to be, I believe.
Okay, so the mailbox, the postman is gonna have the master key to the front door.
I believe so. I have to discuss that with the owner and how he wants us situate that, but I believe that is the intent.
Okay, can you just make sure mailbox fits because you don't really have much of when the door is opened, it doesn't look like you have a lot of space.
Okay, I can verify that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kasumi. Next hand I saw was Joe's.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I don't want to go backwards since we've already somewhat approved this, I believe, but I feel like it's kind of plain to me. I feel like it needs something up top, some kind of cornice or maybe some keystones above the window. It seems very plain to me. I don't know. Maybe, like I said, I don't want to go backwards. If this is what we approved, then I don't want to
No,
start
there
reinventing.
was a little bit more detail on the original.
I just feel like it's just like a box to me. I don't know. I don't know if maybe I'm the only one that feels that way, but just the top just seems like it's missing something. There's no separation between floors. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
Jeff, have you thought about that, being able to add something to the top, like a differentiating brick or something protruding?
some kind of cornice maybe, or like something that
I
protrudes out. I don't know.
I
feel like
can't.
it's
I
just-
can't. I was. It was. I believe I only submitted what was originally approved, and I didn't want to recreate the drawing and cause another delay in the zoning. So I didn't.
Mhm.
I didn't adjust the drawing. All I did was add color to it, just so because like I said, I didn't want to open another Pandora's box again.
No, I get it. It's been so long since I forgot all about this project.
But
So
I do
So, I mean, if I could
Uh-huh.
just insert, because I might be able to give some input on that. So, Gus has worked on this for quite some time. He got held up with the code review and, he really wants to get this built, but he's a tremendous property owner downtown. He also wants to make it look great. So, I mean, we can still finalize some of these things with Mr. Todd Bell. Jeff, do you have any ideas, your thoughts on how you would, add to this and put a little bit more dimension into it to kind of coincide with what Mr. Pride is saying?
Yeah, I mean, we can add like a top fascia. We can do that, or we can add. It all depends. I mean, we could add soldier courses to the top of the windows if you wanted to. But you know,
Yeah.
I can, like I said, we could do like a faux soffit on the top to bring that soffit, maybe let it protrude out a little bit more to give it some dimension. We can certainly do that, but the problem we have with that is that we have a 0 setback, so I don't want to overhang the roof on the sides so much because of where the property lines are. So I'm trying to keep the fire rating intact as well with the building. So there's not much we can do on the side overhangs. I mean, I could certainly bump out the front, but there's really not much we can do on the sides.
I think the front is what people are going to be concerned about because that's obviously on Main Street. And that's going to be the most visible facade of the building. And I'd be comfortable allowing Chip.
It may be as simple as some beefier granite sills. Some.
Are you
Yeah.
open
Yeah.
to are you open to adding like awnings like I think the Sabatino building next door has awnings?
You got to be careful about over the sidewalk.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
I would assume that the owner's on the line tonight, but I would assume that we're open to larger. We could do larger lintels. We could do granite lintels or larger masonry lintels. I can enlarge the front soffit on the roof. I can drop it down a little bit. Give it somewhat of a dimension. Sure. I mean that's all. That's certainly what we can certainly do that. Like I said, all I did was just replicate the original approval. But I could certainly add some dimension to that. That shouldn't be a problem.
All right.
Mr. Chair,
Dave.
I can incorporate the owner on this. Gus, if you can unmute, can you do that just to kind of give your thoughts on this? You're still muted, Gus.
While he's working that out, Brian, Dave, you had your hand raised too. Go ahead.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I would offer a similar comment, just more on the top. If we could do a little something on the top, I think it would just dress it up. If you look down the street, some of the buildings don't have anything, but again, we're redoing this entire building, so it's an opportunity to maybe add a little something. So if we can look at doing something on the top, I think the windows, I'm fine with the windows and the detail around them. I would add any sort of final plans. We should see the addresses. I assume they're going to be above the doorways, right? So we should see that, right? One of these is 340, one is 340A.
Yes. Yep. I believe
Right.
the residence is 340. I believe anyway, but I can verify. I'll verify that.
So the final probably, and again, if there's an update with some of this architectural stuff that's being discussed, but I'll just make sure the addresses are shown where they're going to be shown. And then probably more of a fire department thing or Board of Health or whatever. Is there a second form of egress for those residential units above? They're coming in and out of that front door, right? But the porches upstairs there's nothing that goes down to the ground, right? That I can see.
No, that's correct. There's only one central staircase. But the reason why is because the building's going to be sprinkled, so you can have one means of egress because of this
Because it's sprinkled. Okay.
Yep.
I saw the back
Yeah,
elevation.
no,
I was like,
it's a great
kind of
question.
expected something, but yep, no, that makes sense. I do recall that. Yep. I think that's all I had, Mr. Chair. I mean,
All right,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
the additional detail. I appreciate seeing the material list. So, and any sort of final tweaks, if we can get that sent to us, that'd be great.
Yeah, so
Thanks.
if I can, Mr. Chair, I just talked to the owner of Delphonse and he's on board 100% with that for Jeff to put some touches, as Mr. Pride has suggested. He appreciates all the effort that Mr. Tabell has put in. Chip took a Saturday morning to meet with us on this. It's an important building for downtown. It's a centerpiece. He's a proud owner. He wants to get it right. He wants people to see it when it's done and say, wow, not to look at it and go, gee, they kind of swung and missed on that. And so he's very open to doing what has been suggested here on the front of the building to give Jeff an opportunity to put his touches on and have Chip take a look at it.
Yeah, we've already deputized Chip, so I don't think, it needs to be a full review by the board, so. Anything else, board members?
I would just ask through you, Mr. Chair, and Brian, any potential tenant for that commercial space yet?
Not yet, no.
Okay, it may still be too early. I was just curious if that's
Just a
somebody had
hole in the
approached you.
ground.
What's that?
Still a hole in the ground.
No, I know, but if somebody had seen or he had
It'd be
reached
a
out
little
to,
chilly to go in now.
no, I know. But there may have been discussions. He may have been in touch with Erin Cookinda. There could be somebody had seen this plan and said, "Oh, there's a unique opportunity to get downtown in Wakefield." So, be curious to see. Hopefully, it's somebody good wants to be there. So,
Another nail salon.
no, please. Anyway,
All right. Anything else, board members? And Chip, you're fine taking another look?
Yeah, be happy to.
Thank you.
Okay. It's other matters, so we don't need public comment.
No, we're good, Mr. Chair. We'll Jeff, you can work on that and let me know when you're ready, and then we can email it to Chip and get some feedback from him, and hopefully get this signed off by Chip pretty quick so we can start construction.
Yeah, and Brian and Jeff, the only thing I'd say is look at some of the other window treatments downtown. There's some of the nice old buildings have some really cool detail. So take a lead from what's already done downtown.
Sure thing. I definitely will.
Make it look like it's always been there.
Yep, no problem.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yep. Moving on, next other matter, 465 Water Street, Verizon Wireless. Is there someone here for that?
Yes, hi, good evening. My name is Tim Richmond. Can you hear me?
Yep. Please
Awesome.
proceed,
Good evening,
Mr.
guys.
Richmond.
Yes, good evening, Chairman and Board. My name is Tim Richmond. I'm a contractor for both Verizon and American Tower. We are looking, Verizon is a tenant on an existing tower. It's a stealth tower that's at 465 Water Street. And they're looking to modify the 3 antennas that they currently have there and then add 3 more to the top. Given that it's stealth design, there's only really 3 antennas per 10-foot center line. The existing tower is currently 75 feet. And to get the capacity we need and the additional technologies, we'd like to add 10 feet to that tower and put another can on it for 3 additional antennas. That is really the only change we're making to the facility. And we're here to request an amendment to our special use permit for that. I could share drawings if you'd like, or
Yeah, please do.
I assume
think
you
people
guys
would be-
know. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, sir.
I think that the one thing people are interested is the increase in height. You
Yep.
could show what that would be.
Sure. Let me, and you guys all, I assume, know where this is. It's behind Keith's Tree and Forestry Products building.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let me just grab my drawings here. They're up and share my screen. All right. So obviously we have a title page, but I skipped right to the tower page since this is addressing the height you guys are discussing. And as I said, there's currently a stealth tower there. There's 45 feet of monopole, and then there's 3 10-foot canisters. We are at 61 feet right now as our center line. This is right here. We're the second one up. And Verizon would like to propose they need 3 more antennas. We have a lot of capacity issues here. There's a lot of usage, and it's not all being addressed. To add 3 more antennas will both give us the new technologies and frequencies we would like, as well as increase the capacity. Unfortunately, we can't add additional antennas to the existing canister. They only fit 3 due to the restrictions of the design. So we had to propose the 10-foot increments on top. The existing trees around there are around 85 feet now, so it's probably going to be in line with them. And I'd be happy to share the Google Earth image if you'd like to take a look, and I can show you, approximately how much taller it's going to be. But it's essentially 10 feet. They're going to add 3 more additional antennas in that canister. But it's a pretty straightforward project other than that. And I guess I'd like to get your input. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, members of the board.
So you're saying it's going up 30 feet? You said 3 10-foot increments?
Oh,
No, there are existing 3
Yeah.
10-foot increments. We're going to increase it by 10. So it's currently a 75-foot tower. When we're
Okay.
done, it will be 85 feet. Yeah. Not that it necessarily makes a difference. You guys seem, like a nice board, but we did apply as far as a 6409 eligible facilities request for this. I mean, technically, we are able to increase the tower by 20 feet before that's triggered. Obviously, we don't need the whole 20, so we're just in the 10-foot can for these 3 additional antennas. So there's no other changes to the ground or anything like that either. The compound will stay the same. They'll just replace the radios on the ground and the antennas in the tower and then add that can to the top. We obviously, American Tower did run a structural analysis. It's at 99%. Engineering wise, you can go to 105. So we are getting to the top of its capacity at this point. So this is probably the last, they won't be able to add anything additional after this, or it will be maxed out. The only difference would be maybe replacing equipment inside those canisters that might change the weight and stuff like that of the tower.
No, that's what I wanted, Mr. Richmond. I wanted on the public record that you're within your envelope, and we don't have a lot of leeway here, but I wanted folks to know if we get asked that we looked at it.
Yeah, definitely.
And what's the date of these? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, sir. My bad.
I was going to say, what's the date of these plans?
These plans are fairly new. They're from 11/4. The structural analysis was run earlier, though. Can you see it? This one was run October 30th.
October 30th.
Yeah. And it's at 99%. I mean, I could scroll down if you'd like and show you, obviously, some complicated math. They show the wind loadings and ice loadings, but here's the tower profile. And so you'll see you got your monopole at the bottom, which is your 45-foot pole. And then you have your 3 additional cans that are currently there, and then the one proposed at the top here. It gets us from 75 to 85 feet.
Is this the one that looks like a tree, but it's not a tree?
This one is just a sleek, and
This
if you
is
want, let
just
me
a
switch.
flagpole.
Yeah, I can show
Oh.
you what it looks like currently, if you'd like. Hold on
I
one
thought there was
sec.
one there that was a tree, but it looks like a tree, but it's not a tree in that area.
This
But
is the street view of it right
Oh.
now. You see it? So you can see all 3
Yeah.
cans, and they'll do another sleek can up top. I mean, these
I don't
trees
remember
around are still probably taller at 85, 90 feet, or they're going to be about equal to it. So
I never
obviously,
noticed that. See, I've noticed the one on the right on your picture there.
oh
Way
yeah,
over.
this one, right? Another short one. This is the tree.
Yeah.
So I
I
mean,
never
it's
know.
sleek.
I've
Yeah.
never noticed y'all that one before. Now I do, I guess.
And you will
You'll
every
notice
time
it when you drive by.
by.
Yeah,
Now I
usually
will.
only a trained eye will see those things. So I mean, obviously, I see them wherever I go, but even the stealth ones usually. But yeah, I mean, this one's, the problem, the only diminishing factor with the stealth is really just restricts upgrading, replacement of equipment, and doesn't allow for really a lot of easy modifications. So, the canisters are an issue for us, but obviously, we don't want to try to change the concealment or anything like that. So we proposed what we thought was the best option was to just raise it 10 feet with another stealth canister. We flirted with the idea of proposing exterior antennas. They're actually only 35-inch antennas. The ones we're putting in, they're relatively small. But after looking at it, we went with a stealth canister. I think everyone is going to agree that's probably going to be a lot less visual change to the tower. So,
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
you're welcome.
So it's on the other matters. There's no public comment here. Pleasure of the board.
I'm good.
Okay. So, Mr. Chair, I move that we grant the request by Verizon Wireless in accordance with the plans prepared by American Tower, I got it, my name, American Tower Services LLC, based on the site plan dated on November 4th, 2025, and the structural analysis plan dated October 30th, 2025, to upgrade the existing wireless communication facility at 465 Water Street. This determination satisfies the standards for an eligible facilities request of an existing wireless tower or base station in accordance with Section 6409 of the Middle Class Tax Relief and Job Act of 2012. That's the
Wait
motion.
a second.
I second it.
Okay, motion's been made second. Any further discussion? Hearing seeing none, regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kasumi,
Yes.
I vote yes. All right, I'll have the signed letter for you down at Town Hall by the end of the week.
Thank you, sir. We really appreciate your time, guys. Thank you, board. Hopefully
you.
we can fix the coverage issues that are here for you. Once this is done, everyone should have very excellent coverage in the area again. So thank you for your
Thank you.
time, and have a good evening. Appreciate it.
You too.
Okay.
Next up, 271 Vernon Street, Verizon Wireless, modification to existing telecommunications facility.
I
I
saw
hope
that.
it's somebody else other than that last guy. Oh, wait.
All right, I'm just seeing if everyone can hear me on the board side. Hello?
We can hear you. You can't really see you.
I swapped to start video. I'm not sure what, oh, you know what? I sometimes flip this one little switch up here also. Not sure where that's going.
Okay, we can roll with this, I think.
No
Yeah.
worries. I think the plans are more important than my face either way. So Verizon is looking to make some changes at 271 Vernon Street. It is a church facility that we have some antennas inside of the Belfry area. We've recently made some larger changes inside of the steeple here, some paint work, some roof repairs as well. But now that all of those changes have been done, we are looking to do some internal work. I was just looking to see how I might be able to share my screen for you so that I can give you some plans. The goal as of right now is basically to move some equipment from the basement area into or out to the exterior equipment pad. I have an aerial view here. Just want to confirm if everyone can now see my screen.
We can.
Okay. This is actually an aerial view, which I think is a bit more confusing than the profile. As of right now, at the church, most of Verizon's auxiliary equipment for the cabinets, batteries, etc., are within the basement area down here. There's been some mold issues, which has been a growing concern for Verizon as far as the equipment area down here is concerned. The landlord will still be working on some of their mold remediation. Verizon will do some as well. I believe I submitted that in my proposal. But the goal is to move from this area out to the exterior equipment pad on, again, the exterior of the building. We have existing conduit paths and all of the routing for all the cables for the cabinets, batteries, Hoffman boxes, telco, all of that is being proposed to be moved to this exterior equipment pad. Verizon is leased in both these spaces with the church. It's more of a maintenance issue, I suppose, at this rate, rather than a capacity or coverage issue. There has already been modifications to the top of the steeple. So now we're kind of trying to make some changes so that it's a little bit easier for Verizon to be able to access the property for maintenance and repairs. There's a daycare here, so we're trying to make everything as external as possible so that some of that interior access flow is a little bit easier. Sorry, exterior access flow is a little bit easier for maintenance routines. Please let me know if there are questions. I know it's
Dave, I see your hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, yeah, interesting to hear about it. We've spent some time over the years in this building. We know it well. At least our family, between Cub Scouts and so forth. So moving the equipment outside, does this equipment create or emanate any noise whatsoever?
Not that I'm aware of. Most of it is electrical backup for most of the systems that power the antennas. Again, we have cabinets that house some of the batteries that fuel the property and whatnot as well. If it would appease the board, I can look into noise study issues, but I haven't experienced anything with that with any of my construction managers at this rate.
Okay, I just not knowing the specific details of what you're proposing to move from inside to outside. And then I know when we did this originally, there was neighborhood concerns about this overall project, but now suddenly there's a buzzing outside or something going on outside. That would be an issue, right?
Oh, no, that's absolutely understandable. It's
You
something
know,
I can
so
absolutely run by our engineers as well, just to see if there is any anticipatory, if there are any decibels that anything would throw off. That's something I can ask them about for what's being moved.
okay. If you
Again, we're
if
obviously
you
in a
could share that
basement.
with the chair, just to close the loop on that. Just I would hope there wouldn't be, if it's just electrical equipment, but just to be sure, because that would obviously raise concerns.
Yeah, I'd be happy
Um,
to look into that more. So I actually do a lot of church properties, so it's not uncommon to experience that concern.
yeah, and of course the church is well aware of what you're doing, right?
Well, yep, and well, they also work with Diamond Management and whatnot too. I've done a lot of this property in the last couple of years now.
Okay.
But
No, I know we raised the tower up. I mean, we've originally permitted it. We raised, and then they came back, right? I think they added on to the steeple or whatever. So there've been a few changes over the years, but
oh yeah, I believe
yeah,
half of the steeple repairs, I think even repainting and reconfiguring a lot of the steeple area was completed around July or August of this year. I was also involved in that change as well. I am not sure as of now if the contractor would be the same one, but we have typically contracted the same Green Mountain Engineering. I don't know if you've seen them before on this, but they've done quite a bit at this property. I've been a part of a lot of those pieces as well. There's, it's a sensitive property. There was a lot of roof work to be done, and Verizon helped to get that done. But as of now, I think they're trying to just kind of do a clean sweep to make sure as much can be done with the least amount of disturbance as possible.
right. And if there's ongoing issues in the basement, it sort of seems reasonable to say, let's get our stuff out of there. They got to
Which
remediate what's going on. Let's get our stuff out of there. So
exactly,
the ask seemed reasonable, and we're not updating radio antenna heads or anything. It's just equipment moving things around. It seems reasonable. Just wanted to get those couple of points clarified. So appreciate it.
I will get something in writing, at least from our engineers, if there's anything further to be done. I know we've done noise studies before. If it's necessary, if there is any concern of if there would be a higher enough decibel increase, that could be of concern. If not, I could at least get something in writing from engineers that it ought not to be a concern in this property.
Okay, thank you. That's all I
Any
have,
other
Mr. Chair.
questions?
Okay, Chip, see your hand up?
Yes, if I remember right, this current pad that you mentioned is in existence, correct?
Correct.
And it's fenced, correct?
It's a current concrete pad, all fenced in, and we have existing conduit as well.
So is there any height? Is the fence going to conceal all the height of the new equipment coming out?
Correct. I believe the tallest piece of equipment that we already have there is this cabinet that's already existing. Everything else that we have, we're basically going to be putting right along. Actually, it seems, again, because of the profile look, will be mostly installed along here. We have some existing space and clearances for it.
Okay. I just don't want to see anything above the fence.
Oh, absolutely. Understandable.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, I'm used to working with a lot of church properties. I myself live in Litchfield, Connecticut, where I think it took like at least 15 years to even get a Dunkin' Donuts put in our town. Very used to maintaining the aesthetics, so absolutely understandable.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else?
I'm good.
Same here. It's under other matter. There'll be no public comment. Pleasure of the board then.
Looks like you're on mute, Dave.
Yes, I am. Thank you. I move that we grant a request by Verizon Wireless and SAI Communications on their behalf And in accordance with the plans make sure I got that, TEP Opco LLC, and it looks like they're dated July 29th, 2025. Got that right? For the changes to the existing wireless communication facility at 271 Vernon Street. This determination satisfies the standards for an eligible facilities request of an existing wireless tower or base station in accordance with Section 6409 of the Middle Class Tax Relief and Job Act of 2012.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made second. Any further discussion? Hearing seeing none, regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi,
Yes.
I vote yes as well. That is unanimous. Thank you for your time. Good luck. And if you could just, Dave asked for the audio thing. We can't condition these things, but if you do look into that, if you could send it to Amy down the building department, that would be helpful and appreciated.
Absolutely, be happy to. Thank you very much for your
Thank
time
you.
for the rest of your evening.
All right, we're on to clerk and board comments. Jill, as our esteemed clerk, do you have any comments?
I have no comments. I do have a question. Did we lose Greg, or is he?
We did lose Greg. I failed to mention that at the last meeting.
You said something like this was his last meeting, and I said, "Did I hear that right?" And then he's not here tonight, so yeah, we
Yeah.
did lose him.
So I did talk to him and I gave him, make sure that he knew that we appreciate his efforts. And as we go on to our next item, I'm going to bring up the board's holiday get together. I'll make sure that he's invited to that.
Please. Yep.
So we can thank him in person. So
I
I don't know if you guys want to do that.
I did.
Yeah.
I will report that I did go to North Ave and do a final inspection, and they met all the criteria that we were looking for. So the new thing that Ben has asked, I guess, is that a member of the ZBA signs off on a sheet that lists all the town departments. So I did sign that. So I guess we're going away from having you, Tom, send a note to him, but whoever does the final walkthrough
Yeah.
will be signing a piece of paper.
That makes sense because that's the person that is actually looking at it. So
Yeah. So it was all well done. They did a nice job.
Yeah, they were out there putting pavers down in the last couple of weeks. Looked like the fence, and that's that late request to make sure there's a fence around that walkway. And I even saw civil engineers, I think, out there the other day.
They were
Still
doing
doing
as-built.
things.
Doing as-built.
Yeah, as-built, and then I still gotta have the town. I gotta have town engineer and the sign off once the as-bills are done.
Yeah. But no, come out nice. Looks good.
Mm-hmm.
all right, the other thing I'll report is that Erin and our new planner, I can't believe I'm suddenly blanking on her name. They pulled together myself, the chair of the planning board, and the chair of the Conservation Commission. We're going to get together maybe twice a year just to talk about what's going on with each other's boards and that sort of thing. So one of the things that came out, one of the members of the public brought it up today. I requested from the Conservation Commission, since they go before us, that we get a little bit more detailed, up-to-date notes than their general memos that we get. So that when we're moving forward on a project, if they've met on the previous week, that we get an email updating us what happened at their meeting. So that's one of the things that came out of there. Because generally, the attorney, in our case, Mr. McGrail usually updates us, but it would be good to hear it directly from the other boards. So if you have ideas,
Reasonable ask. That's good, John. Yeah.
And I just reiterated, we'd like to go last, so we have all of that. So, and 50 Quarter Power, it's a perfect example that it's going to be changed because of the wetland lines. So, that stuff should be taken care of before it comes to our board. Then the only other thing is we gotta pick a date for a holiday gathering. We can do it via email poll, or I'll send out an email. Folks can weigh in what works and doesn't work for them.
Are
Sounds
we
good.
thinking, are we thinking after the holidays?
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna try to squeeze it in.
No.
No.
What are you
That's,
doing?
you
What are you
know,
doing December
If it's a
25th?
preference, I would just do it on off Wednesday.
Yeah,
Since the Wednesdays are kind of taken already, so if that works.
okay. I'll circulate something, make sure
Yeah.
so people can check their calendars and stuff. All
Sounds
right,
good.
anything else? Questions, comments, board members?
Well, we're gonna do a dry run down at the Public Safety Building before the January meeting,
Yeah, after.
or just like go down
yeah.
and get trained. So just like you and if as a co-host or a backup, if Joe or myself need to assist in some way, that we get a little bit of training on.
Yeah, we're gonna do it after the new year, because if I did it now, I wouldn't remember it, so.
As long as
We gotta do a
we,
little
we
bit
still have
closer.
something planned and we can get it done. That's all.
Yeah, Sherry knows she's gonna bring us down, and she knows
Okay.
there'll be a group of us there. We just can't bring a quorum down, all right? So.
We just can't talk about hearings, but we can just
Mm.
meet and talk about the logistics of running a meeting.
Yeah, so.
We just gotta not talk about hearings.
Amy did plan that out with Sherry, so we'll be in touch after the holidays with the date to get down there. Right, I agree with you, because we need 2 or 3 people trained, because people miss meetings. And things happen, so we should have a number of people that know what they're doing with the system down there. All right,
Sounds good.
anything else?
So the meetings for next year, they were published, they were sent to emails, or were they in the agenda?
We presented them at the last meeting.
So they're in the agenda?
I forget how we did it. Oh,
They're on the
So they're in
website.
the minutes? They're on the website?
They're, I think on the zoning, if you go to town, Wakefield Town Hall and go into zoning, there is a list of all next year's meetings. That's how I
Okay.
usually find them.
That's how you did it? Okay. I will do
Right.
that. And then I do get the notices by email, but I am not getting the invites, and I'm a disaster before every meeting. So I apologize for that. And Dave, thank you for sending them to me. But I can't even find the invite in my personal email. So should I email Sherry?
I would, because I think what's happened is I think she put the R before the I in your first name.
That's never happened to me before, Tom. I don't believe you. Okay.
Yeah, I
That
mean, I
is
get an
my
email on
guess.
my Gmail and it's just like, yes, and it goes right into my Google Calendar. So
Yeah,
again,
no,
it should, if it gets to you okay, it should be a simple click to accept the meeting and it goes in your
oh no, it was
calendar.
always in my calendar. And then, yeah.
But
So
you don't have
today
the
when
link. Oh,
no, it's in my calendar because I put it there. So I know I have the meeting. Like Joe just said, I go to the, I have them. But I have not been getting the invites. I used to, but I'm not now. And today when you sent it, I couldn't get it to my computer, so I'm on my phone. Anyway, I'm usually a lot better than this.
All right.
So I'll take care of it.
We'll get it done. I'm sure it's just like a typo, so
I'm
we'll
sure
jump
it's
on
the
it.
I and the R too, because I did go into my personal email and I can't find it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll get that straightened out, and then we got to approve the minutes of November 12th. Anybody have any comments on those?
I move that we approve the minutes of November 12th as amended based on Dave only being here for half the meeting because it was his birthday and he had to go out.
it was a family
Second.
obligation. I think that's the way.
Family obligation.
That's right. Second that.
Sounds like it was a big birthday in terms of numeric, I'm guessing. But anyway, this can be a voice vote. So all those in favor?
Aye.
I
Against? No, those approved.
I
Last thing
move-
is happy holidays, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Have a good New
I'll
Year.
be in touch on get together.
Merry
Happy New Year. And we
yeah.
get a pretty good break here. We don't meet till the 14th, so we get a nice
little
holiday
break.
break. Yep.
Super. Everybody have a
All
great
right, folks.
holiday.
Have
Yeah.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Take care, everyone.
See you.